Hello and welcome back to another episode of Squirtified Engineering home segment. As you saw in the last episode, I was doing some spackling, bonding on this wall, and I was also doing it on that wall. If we start with this wall, it looks quite okay. There are a few bubbles, maybe. Yeah, sort of. But I think I will just try and sand it down and see where we're at after that. Regarding this other wall, it's not as nice looking. A lot more bubbles which I need to take care of, and just like yesterday I started too late because I've been editing episodes and eating, so I only have about 1 hour left that I can use my machines, so I will use that hour for sanding the TV wall. after a bit of regrouping, some thinking, some dinner, and a trip to the store to buy more spackle. The clock is now, well, I don't have a watch on, but it's late. But today is Thursday, so the last day of the week to do some work with machines is tomorrow. And I would like to sand this wall once again. And also I'm not really happy with the way this is going. It's too slow. So if I'm starting over there and just continuing down the wall, it will take a few rounds before I will achieve the target that I'm aiming for. So what I will do instead is I will put my spackle tool, the wide spackle, against the wall and mark out the high spots. And then I will make sure to fill in the low spots. So I think I will start from that end and work my way through. And we will see. I might go with just filling in the low spots in a horizontal movement, and then sort of see if I can take it down by doing a horizontal, doing a vertical movement, or if I just start in that end, fill in the low. So, like every other outro in, well, not in every other outro, but for the last few weeks, I just stepped out of the shower and I'm now back on my EOS 60D. I emptied the memory card and I feel a bit like when I was in 3rd or 4th grade and realized how to solve a certain type of math problem. Everything became clear. So I have the same feeling now about my new spackling technique. So I didn't do it on the TV wall, but I did it on the outside wall and the bedroom wall. The thing was, one problem with the spackle is it's a lot of air mixed into it. Can't see any problem areas of that kind now, but when you pick it up and you put it on the wall, you get bigger air bubbles, so you can't really leave it like that, which means that you need to work it a bit. So my new technique is that I put not as much as before, but almost. And I work it in, let's say, 20 or 40 by 40 centimeter, and just spread it in different directions, up, down, side to side. And this will work out the air. And also it seems like the spackle becomes a bit more floaty, so it's even easier to even it out. And now I'm working a smaller section at a time, which means that when I finished one column, I'm actually finished with it. I don't need to do like 3 columns, then go back to the first one, even it out, start on the 4th, then go back to the second one, and so on. Instead, I do 1 column, and when I'm working on, and then I move like a half column, so it's not actually side to side, but it's a bit of overlap. And when we have this light gray color in the background that you see now, you have here light and darker gray, so this, the wet spackle will be darker, of course. And when you start to spread it out, you will get this sort of how do you say, ragged edge. It's not a nice cut edge. So that gives you the indication that you need to put more in that area. So you work in the same area for a bit longer, or I do, than I previously did. And I think the result is much better. It's also more economical, because I don't need to have as much spackle active at the same time. And also, when if I started in this end, and then by the time I come to this end, the starting end has already started to dry, which means that I can go back and put on another coat, I think. I mean, I've done it a few times today. We will see, we will confirm this tomorrow. But I think that I have 2 options for tomorrow, which is the last day of the week where I can use machines. I can either use the giraffe sanding machine and do all of the walls, or I could just take off like these small things, the edges that you don't really want, things that the spackle can get caught on, and then just put on a second coat. So I have until tomorrow to think about that. But I'm really happy with how it's starting to turn out now. The outside wall, see here we actually had a joint between 2 drywalls underneath, and you can see that this area where it's still dark gray, it hasn't fully dried, but it's more dry on the sides. So they didn't put enough spackle on this when they initially did it. There was also some air bubbles in the wallpaper. I'm not sure if we'll we maybe have a few spots. So I might need to cut out a few bubbles. So that will be priority 1. So I cut out the bubbles. Then I do either of those two types of sanding. And then I can do the next coat. So all 3 walls required about, well, less than 15 liters of spackle. Before I used about 10 liters of spackle per wall, and that's quite a lot. So I'm not sure how it would turn out if I well, first of all, removed more old wallpaper than I did initially. That would have saved me like 2 buckets of spackle, which I had to tear down. And if I used this spackling technique, bonding technique, I need to look up that word. I think I could have saved quite a few liters of spackle, but I'm learning, and it's actually quite fun, especially when you see the result sort of coming out step by step. And in the edges, I haven't done it between the bedroom wall and the outside wall, but let's see if we can have a look. So here the edge is rounded. I'm not sure if that was picked up with the GoPro, but I did it with my finger. Actually did it with my middle finger, but I don't want to accidentally give you the middle finger, so let's say I did it with my pointing finger. I think that's a nice crossover between the walls, instead of just a 90-degree angle. I think that's it. And perhaps you didn't see this in today's GoPro videos, but I did get help again. So while I was spackling the TV wall, my helper I got help with getting the outside wall. First she was cutting out the bubbles, then she was sanding, and I told her to, no, I asked her to take off the residue edges and so on, but she went one step further and did a lot more sanding, and then she brushed the wall so that it was clean enough for me to put another coat of spackle on. So that was very kind of her. It's very late now. I need to sleep. But thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Stay safe. Be very careful. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.